Want a cookie? Oh, I know you just ate, so you're craving something a little sweet. Besides, one cookie isn't gonna kill you. How about half? Just a bite? Bite it. Bite it. Bite it.
Food noise isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. Your affordable GLP-1 source that puts you on a path to successful weight loss by quieting food noise.
Bite it!
Shh. Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hockey Think Tank podcast, brought to you by the Hockey Think Tank. You, place for all passionate parents, players, and coaches to go to get a little bit of education and a little bit of inspiration regarding the greatest game on the planet. What an episode we have for you guys here today. We are bringing on Andries de Villiers, and he is the founder and CEO of Titan BattleGear, which is a new neckguard company that is making waves in the hockey world. And as you guys know, and we say it all the time, like, we are only bringing people on here when it comes to products that we think are making a huge positive impact on the hockey community. And this is a product that is, like I said, it's making waves, man. Like, it's at World Juniors. It's going to be everywhere in the hockey world here over the next couple of years, particularly with it being neck guards being mandated at the youth levels, and moving forward, going to be mandated for grandfathering in for the NHL as well, which is absolutely wild. But this was an awesome conversation, guys. Like, this one, we learned a lot on this one, and again, we try to bring guests on that can make the hockey community better, that can teach us a thing or two about things that are going on in the hockey world. And he's got some stats, he's got some perspective, he's got some different things that we talked about on this podcast that were just unreal, just absolutely unreal. He's actually at the time of this conversation up at World Juniors in Minnesota. We recorded on the day of the quarterfinal games. And man, that's just really cool. James Hagen's the top draft pick for Boston last year, stud at BC, best player on Team USA, is one of their players that's wearing it, along with a lot of other Team USA players at World Juniors right now. So just a really cool conversation. Before we do get over to Andries, though, let's bring on the talent of the podcast, one good people, Jeffrey J. Hulavecchio. Vex, what's up today, my man?
What up, doggy? Man, you guys will see when we get to the interview part of this, if you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram clips, I had the Titan BattleGear neck guard shirt on the whole interview. And guys, I hated neck guards when I was a kid. Topher and I talk about our loathing of neck guards when we were kids, because they had the Velcro and they were like
so bad.
They were itchy, and like the material that like was supposed to be like the safe stuff would always like poke out and poke you in the neck, and I absolutely hated them. And so when I got connected with Andries here through Chris Weidman, one of my former NHL, KHL clients, I told him, dude, I freaking hate neck guards. He's like, let me send you one. And I put it on. It was like absolute butter, just straight burro, as they say in Italy, I believe, on my skin. And just a big fan of it. And, being somebody who got sliced by a skate on my wrist when I was playing in Russia, I really wish that I had a product like this. It was a super light shirt that was comfortable, that you could customize to your own team every year, colors, all that type of stuff. And it protects your wrist and your neck, and it actually protects your wrist and your neck. What you guys are going to hear is some actually mind-blowing lies that we've been kind of fed in the hockey world about like what neck guards do and how strong they are and cut resistant and things like that. And to me, it's just not okay, and it's the reason I asked Andries to come on the show here this week. So it's pretty eye-opening when you hear the things that he talks about and how little most neck guards on the market can actually do versus the cut resistance that Titan BattleGear offers. So it's going to change the game. NHL players wear neck guards starting next year. which is just wild. But that means every single player in hockey all the way down is going to be wearing neck guards forever now. So you might as well wear one that's actually doing something, is very comfortable and light to wear. And, you can also make it your own style, kind of like Nike ID for hockey equipment. So it's going to be pretty cool, and a massive company that's going to be really big in hockey in the next few years here.
Totally, man. I think when you look at any type of equipment, it's safety first, right? Safety first, protection, and then right after that's performance, and then style.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this is it has all three.
Yeah.
It's obviously the top rated safety product on the market. From a performance perspective, like Vex said, he was wearing it. I hated neck guards. There was no way I did not want to wear any equipment. Like, just let me, I want to play hockey as comfortably so I can perform at the best of my ability as we can. And this is a product that helps you to do that. It's not like big and bulky and it's going to make you think about it when you put it on. Like, it's just another piece of equipment. Right. And then style, like you can customize it to your team, like really, really cool. And so, it was really, 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 really cool to get Andries on here to kind of talk about what they're doing. And you'll hear a story on here about Team USA at World Juniors and more kids kind of starting to wear it after watching Hagens have it on and things like that. So, just a really neat episode and a really neat product that is gonna it'll save some lives, no question, in the hockey world, and it's gonna save some seasons, potentially some careers from lacerations, and so that's why we wanted to have him on, because we think this will be a really, really good value add for the hockey community as a whole. So how about you, buddy? First podcast of 2026 here. How's the start of your year going, my friend?
I'm not gonna lie, it's going phenomenally. Let's just keep this ripping here. I mean, I've had 2 weeks off of like all in-person work, but I went back today for the first time. Wow, that's a lie. This year was the first year I was able to do this. It's pretty cool. Anybody that was home for my clients that train with me in the off season, if they were home for Christmas break, junior college, no pro guys, kids, I did free workouts for 2 weeks. So, for me to be at a position in my life where I could do that for my clients, and, someone came in like 10 times. For me, it's just really cool to be able to do that over Christmas break, and the kids texting me and saying, I feel so much better that I got in workouts over break. Some of the young kids who came in, a bunch of the young kids all came in. It's not mandatory, completely optional. And, for me, it was, that was something really cool, since it's the first time I've been able to do something like that.
Yeah. Unreal, man.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for 2026 too. I feel like 2025 in a lot of different ways was a hard year, just professionally, personally. But as we always talk about, like, the hard is necessary. Like, the hard is necessary for the good. And man, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about what makes me go, what makes me tick, what helps me be the best version of me. And so, but I will say a but, it's easy to reflect and it's easy to put a plan together and set goals and all that kind of stuff. The harder thing to do is to be consistent every day and actually do the things that you say you're going to do. Yep. Confidence, how's it built? Craig Ballantyne, I say it all the time. It's about making a promise to yourself and keeping it, man. And so that is the one thing I'm really going to be focused on this year, is making sure that, the consistency is there of doing the things that I say I'm going to do, mostly for myself, to make sure I'm keeping myself mentally and physically in a state and in a shape that I know can help me be the best version of me for the people around me. So I know a lot of other people I'm sure have been having the same kind of mental gymnastics when it comes to that stuff. I'm really looking forward to this year and the challenge of being consistent every day. And really looking forward to, honestly, man, like I think about, and I've wrote a few things in my newsletter. I've wrote a few things on social media about this. 2 things that I really want to focus on with the Hockey Think Tank in 2026. Number one is just positivity, man. Like, we call things out. We call it like we see it. And when things we don't agree with, we're still going to say it. We're still going to call those things out, but we really want to highlight a lot of the good things that are happening in the game too. There's so many great people doing awesome things in the game. And we really want to bring those forth as well. And the other thing is just growth, man, just grassroots growth of the game. We're really going to focus on grassroots growth of the game, and through education, through collaboration, through inspiration, whether it's the podcast, things that we do with our partner clubs, with the Youth Hockey Blueprint, the Hockey Think Tank U community that we've built with over 200 people in it. We want to focus on telling stories about how to grow the game, how to get more people in the game, how to keep people in the game that have chosen the game. And we got a lot of fun things in store for that too. So I'm just so excited for what's to come here, guys. And it's going to be an awesome start to the year here. And it is going to be a consistent journey the whole way, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. And anybody else out there that's got the resolutions and things like that. Something that always helps me, and maybe it'll help any of you out there. And we talked about it recently, maybe 2-3 weeks ago on the episode where I did, the 5 things you can be doing every single day as a player to earn your confidence. One day at a time. I mean, one day at a time. Things a lot of people get in their own head when they think like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to achieve this? Or how am I going to get to this spot? Or how am I going to get there? But it's because you're living in the future. You're worrying about the future. Am I going to get there? Well, if all of your energy is towards that, you're not putting your energy into being the best you can be right now, wherever your feet are, doing everything you can right now. And I'm not saying I'm some crazy successful person by any means, but I do think I've done well and overachieved, with my skill sets and things like that, both in hockey and my business, where it is now and where it's going to go. And yes, my business has taken me a long time to get it to where it's at now, way longer than anybody really knows. But when I look back on how I got here, and it's the same thing with the podcast, same thing with our hockey careers, it's just one day at a time, giving everything I possibly have to whatever I'm doing today. And then I go to sleep and I wake up and I try and do it again the next day, just one day at a time. So if you're, in that mindset of, you're going to have a better year, you're going to have a better life, you're going to be better at work, dad, mom, like whatever it is, just remember, don't get over your skis. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. Don't put yourself in a rocking chair. Wherever you are today, right now, be where your feet are and give all of your intention, all of your love, all of your ness to whatever you're doing right now.
I like it. And I'll add on to what you said there too. Nobody's perfect. And one of the things that I've learned just through some podcasts I've been listening to and some of the books that I've been reading is consistency can only be achieved by getting back on the horse. Because there will be days where you're going to fail. There will be days when you aren't going to do the things that you say you're going to do based on a whole host of different excuses that we can all make. But, as a dad with 3 kids, that's building a movement, let's call it, in the hockey community. There will be days when I can't get to things that I want to get to. It's about getting back on the horse. Consistency is not about doing it every day. It's about getting back on the horse on the days that you don't. So you're doing it a lot more than, because it's so easy, right? To just, I didn't do it today. And then that ends up what? It ends up snowballing. And then you don't do it the day after that because it doesn't seem like a big deal. And then all of a sudden, you're a week or a month and you're like, oh my God, I'm completely off the rails here. And so that's one of the things that I've learned. And one of the things that I'm really going to focus on is that not being so intimate into being perfect, but okay, giving myself a little bit of grace on the days that I'm not, and just getting back on the horse. And it's not a big deal. Consistency is about getting back on the horse. That's the biggest thing for me right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think something that always helps me too is on days like that where I don't accomplish everything that I set out to accomplish for the day, or, whatever, I got to stop mid workout to take a business call, and that, kind of ruins my workout or whatever it is. I also make sure that I say, okay, could I have planned better? Could I have done something different to be better? But then also I pat myself on the back for whatever I did get done. Versus when I was younger, I might have just focused on what I didn't do. Whereas now I'm I had all this stuff to do and I still got this done. Let's go tomorrow. Let's finish up whatever needs to be finished, type of thing. And I focus on the things that I did do, which helps me to keep that momentum of that little pebble rolling from the top of the mountain. So it grows and grows and grows into, a massive, whatever, Icarus ball rolling down the hill type of situation.
Momentum builds, brother.
Yeah.
Momentum builds for sure. All right, man. Well, let's get over to this conversation with Andries. Before we do, though, we do have some people that we love to thank. First and foremost, I want to thank our title sponsor, icehockeysystems.com, the best website out there for all of your coaching education needs. Thousands of drills, whiteboard explanations from really high-level hockey people, the ability to go in, draw your drills up, create a library for yourself, or we have partnered with Ice Hockey Systems to do an associations platform where you can get this for every single coach in your association. But they aren't just for coaches anymore. They are also for families, for players, and for parents. They have so many different resources on there for players and parents too. Now it's called IHS Families. Such a value add to the hockey world and the hockey community. Go to icehockeysystems.com today and check out both the coaches side of things and the family, player, parent side of things as well. You will not regret it. It is such an unbelievable product. icehockeysystems.com. Boom. Jeffrey, go ahead.
I want to say a massive thank you to Train Heroic. You guys know Train Heroic is the unbelievable platform that has allowed me to work with tens of thousands of hockey players and people from around the world. I use them in my gyms in person. We use them with teams, organizations, and individuals that work with me online. Anybody who wants to train with me online can, whether you're a hockey player or not. All you got to do is reach out to me and I can tell you about how it works. It is the best platform in the world for being in the gym when you're not with your coach. So massive, massive, massive thank you to Train Heroic for changing my life.
There you go. Also want to thank Helios Hockey, one of the best hockey products on the market. It is a sensor that you put into your shoulder pads that gives you real-time data, real-time feedback on your play, specifically what they call a hustle score. Every time you move, that sensor lights up, and it is something that the kids absolutely love. We just had JP Buckley as a Friday Face-Off on our podcast not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, and he talked about all the new features that they have with the hustle score and on the product. So really, really cool. Also really, really good for skating to be able to play at the highest levels today. Skating is a huge, huge priority. So they have great development tools for your skating as well. But the kicker, guys, the kicker is it syncs up with your video. So whether you're using Live Barn or whether you're using a camera, whether you're using an iPhone, iPad, whatever it may be, it can sync up with that mode of camera, and you can have your shifts or your reps in practice cut up for you directly after your game, directly after your practice. So just an unbelievable development tool with that as well. So go to helioshockey.com today, and if you use the coupon code ThinkTank, one word, you will get a 20% discount on your Pro Annual or your Pro 24-month plan. Also want to thank Crossbar. Crossbar is just a piece of software that you can use to completely streamline and make your life easier if you are in a position of leadership for a youth hockey organization. Guys, it's literally a one-stop shop for making your life unbelievably easier. If you are a club president, if you are a hockey director, your parents, your administrative staff, your rink, everybody that you deal with will be so, so happy that you switched over to Crossbar. It's just such an easy to use platform. So what is it? Like I said, it's an end-to-end software solution that helps you to streamline your operations for running your youth hockey club. So we're talking about a really easy club scheduler where you can do things like schedule your entire seasons out, or even little things like drop-ins or clinics and stuff like that. A really, really awesome 5-star communication app to communicate with your families, communicate with your parents, communicate with your players. Unbelievable reporting tools for finances, unbelievable reporting tools for your facility, unbelievable reporting tools for your operations. Guys, this, like I said, an absolute one-stop shop to help streamline your operations for your youth hockey club. So go to crossbar.org today and check that out. Incredible, incredible product. And lastly, but certainly not least, we want to thank you, our listeners. We are now into year 8 of our podcast, guys, and we would not be here without you. Just the support that you've given us, still continuing to listen every week, showing up on our social media feeds, sending us all the different feedback that you have, whether it's through a DM, whether it's through ratings and reviews on your podcast apps, whether it's through email, whatever it may be. We just so appreciate you guys. And anytime you interact with us on your podcast app, it goes a long way to helping us to grow. Like I said, through shooting us ratings or reviews, downloading us, following us, whatever it may be. That whole algorithm thing that everybody's so uptight about now, it helps. So if you can for us, just by interacting with our show on your podcast app goes a long, long way. So we appreciate you guys so much. We love you. Happy 2026, everybody. For our first show in 2026, this is what we think is going to be an absolute game changer in the hockey community. Titan BattleGear is an incredible product. And if you want, we are going to put a link in the show notes of this podcast episode where you can go and check it out. Again, it's going to be a game changer in our game as we move forward here. So without further ado, here we go with the founder of Titan BattleGear. Here we go with Andries de Villiers. We are so excited to have on this episode of the podcast. He's out in Minnesota right now for World Juniors. We got Andries de Villiers. What's going on today?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Pumped
Life is
Happy
good.
to have you on, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I'm in hockey heaven right now. It's like
Yeah, you
2 World Junior games a day. I'm popping over to a bunch of high school games. There's tournaments all around. It's very cool.
Yeah, unreal. No better place in the hockey world outside for maybe in a couple months at the Olympics over in Italy, but World Juniors every year, man, unbelievable. And we are recording this before the gold medal game, so we don't know who's going to win. We're actually recording this on the day of the quarterfinal games, but I think go USA, baby. Let's do this. Let's go for a little free.
Hey, and speaking of World Juniors, and you guys are going to hear Andries' story here in a little bit, but if you guys haven't noticed the sexy neck guards that they're all wearing, that's why we got my boy Andries here, because he's the one who I think it's going to revolutionize the game. Like, everybody has to wear neck guards starting next year. Like that, dude. Have we talked about this? Did you know that the NHL is making players wear neck guards next season that aren't grandfathered in?
Yep.
Like, that's just something I never, ever thought would happen. And obviously, if the NHL is doing it, the kids are all doing it, but talking to college hockey, they're going to follow suit. I wouldn't be surprised if they make that rule change next year as well. And everyone is going to have to be wearing neck guards, which, after the last few years, I think is something that's necessary in our sport to change. Me being a guy who was super into my equipment and like always, wanted to make everything feel good. The thought of wearing a neck guard really pissed me off. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing Andries' company shirt here right now, and it's super comfortable. I'm going to wear it the whole episode and see how I feel at the end.
And looking stylish, may I add.
I feel like I'm Finnish, like a Finnish skill guy right now,
exactly.
or like
or French Canadian.
Kovalev, Ooh, did he ever toe drag me?
We should have sent you the Team USA one for this podcast. It's a little close to the World Juniors to be wearing the other colors.
Yeah, you're right. What an idiot! I'm sorry, I messed it up.
Come on, Vex. Well, it's interesting. Like the neck guard conversation comes up, typically only when there's a catastrophic event and somebody either gets close to dying or has passed away from a neck laceration. And so those, Andries, talking to you before this, you gave us some stats that are pretty eye-opening on some of this stuff. And I'm looking forward to getting into that with you here in just a second. But first, we want to just kind of introduce you to our audience here. And not a hockey guy by birth. It wasn't your sport of choice coming in, but you are a hockey parent now. So before we get into some of the Titan stuff, I'd love to ask you just kind of, you drinking the Kool-Aid now, it's such an amazing sport, but you did grow up with other sports. And what caught your son's eye to get into the game? What helped him to fall in love with the game, and how are you supporting him as a hockey parent now?
Yeah, it's a funny story. Excuse me. We were living in Manhattan at the time. My son was just about 3 years old. and he's a big dude. I'm not small, and I grew early as well. And so living in an apartment with a large child who needed to get some activity, I was like, what are the activities in Battery Park that are available to a 3-year-old, which is pretty much zero, other than what they call soccer, which was chaos on AstroTurf in Battery Park. So I took my son down there, signed him up, and first game, he runs out on the field, clotheslines another kid, takes a soccer ball, kicks it in the goal, comes running past me, high-fiving me. I have a long line of moms with strollers looking over at me like, who is this person? What is the matter with this kid? I'm like, dude, grab your stuff. We're out of here. Walk back to the apartment. First thing I did was call one of my best friends from high school who was a D1 hockey goalie. And I was like, hey, Vinny, I think my son's a hockey player. He's like, what happened? I was like, he just drilled this kid into the AstroTurf, scored a goal, and completely got us banned basically from Battery Park soccer. He's like, put him in learn to skate. He'll figure it out. It's perfect. I'm like, he can do that at 3? He's like, absolutely. So conveniently, we were actually moving back out to Connecticut 2 months later. Not that there was a ton of ice within Manhattan to skate at. So luckily, we moved out to Connecticut shortly after. I got him ready to learn to play. And he actually joined an 8U travel team at 6. And again, large child, they kept pushing him up early. And I've just been, a hardcore travel hockey dad ever since then. So if you can't beat them, join them. We ended up moving down to Florida about 4 years ago. And my son joined the Junior Panthers when we first moved down. We've had season tickets now at the real Panthers for the past 4 years and seen some cup wins. And so the whole house is a very hockey head house at this point. I think that's the only thing that anyone ever watches on TV, my wife included. So it might as well have been my career, my whole life. Unfortunately, it wasn't. If I could repeat one thing in life, it would have been probably swapping out football and baseball for hockey. I love the sport. I try to play it as an adult now, which is comical. I'm a C3 rock star. But it's fun because I'm in really good shape still. So I'm in way better shape than anyone else out there who actually knows how to play. So it's this weird contrast of like, that guy is so aggressive and so much energy, but he really sucks at skating. These other guys are like fat, can't move, but they were killer skaters in college or wherever they played. So it's just like this weird dichotomy of like no skill, all energy. All skill, no energy.
Hey, Toph, that's why me and Andries are boys right there. Because that was basically how I had a pro career too there, bro. It was kind of the same no skill, all will.
But you could skate like the freaking wind, though.
Yeah.
You were an elite skater.
All I could think about was you telling that story about your son playing soccer. Like, that is such a 90s commercial. Like, your kid sport, he's going out there with a bunch of soccer, just pansies, just making him look embarrassing, clotheslining a guy. And it's like, we got to get that guy in hockey.
I wonder if that would be like a good commercial for the NHL.
That would be unbelievable.
Great. Didn't the Brewers used to have commercials like that were pretty cool with like
the bear,
the Brew and Bear just like beating the crap out of people that were like either wearing other teams' jerseys or NHL used to have some cool ads. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Andries, before we get into Titan stuff. So like a huge part of our following and a huge part of our listeners for the podcast here actually are hockey parents. And listening to this on their way to work or listening to this on their way to the rink with their kids. And a lot of hockey parents are first generation hockey parents. They didn't grow up playing the sport. They grew up playing other sports or, weren't inundated with the day-to-day of what hockey is. And our sport's a little different, I would say, than maybe some of the other ones. So like what kind of advice would you give to hockey parents who didn't grow up in it? How have you helped your kid and yourself and your family navigate what is a sport that gets, delivered to families and kids a lot different than the other ones?
Yeah, I mean, there's no toe-in approach to being a hockey parent, at least on the travel level, right? I mean, you can put your kid in rec hockey and kind of be there occasionally. If you're doing travel hockey, you're either in or you're out. I'm lucky enough that I've been able to make my career now around the game. So when we travel for tournaments, I'm promoting Titan. We're typically doing activations at those tournaments. It's like a work travel kids attention management trip all at the same time. And so I just said, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm like, man, if I have an opportunity to do something in this industry, I'm around it all day, every day. I'm at the rink all the time, regardless. Some of the other dads or moms are there, they're either day trading or on Zoom calls and doing different things. I'm doing those same things. It just happens to be contextually relevant to where we are. So, I think, look, as everyone knows in this industry, there's a lot of, I don't want to say cash grabbing, money grabbing things out there. I think the most true and tested advice I ever heard early on from a lot of my buddies that grew up as, serious hockey players was like, you don't have to do, 3 private lessons a week with your kid. You don't have to do every spring AAA program. You don't have to do, all these things. And I was like, well, it seems like all the other kids are doing it. But the reality is like, you really don't have to do those things. And so, I think we've had the benefit of having some of that good advice up front. And I think there's obviously the whole reason we started this business, which is kind of the main thing we want to lead parents towards, which is just around, the safety of the sport and what's kind of out there in terms of the other products and why we built this business. But I think that's kind of where we're at.
Love that.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
All right, well, let's get into Titan BattleGear here, because Vex has been singing your praises, and he's doing a little dance with his as we speak. Actually, I should say it was funny. So Vex, you'll love this. So my in-laws, they just took a trip to the Galapagos Islands, and there was a bird called the blue-footed booby there.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
No, but it's my favorite bird now.
Now it is, yeah. But anyway, so the bird's legit name is the blue-footed booby. So they bought them necklaces, and they have like the feet of the blue-footed booby. So like they're walking around saying like, "Hey, look at my necklace! It's a blue-footed booby." Like it's just
look at my boobies.
Absolutely hilarious.
I love it.
But anyway, so Titan BattleGear, so this is a company that you founded not too long ago, and it's crazy how much it's blown up in such a short period of time. You're at the World Juniors, kids at the World Juniors are wearing it as they're playing. Just incredible that you've been able to do that so quickly. But going back to kind of like the start of it and the why you wanted to start this company, what was it that was the impetus to feel like this was something that was needed and necessary in the hockey market? Obviously, being able to talk to you beforehand, there's some tragedy that's involved in it. You have a kid that's involved in it as well in the game now. So just walk us through a little bit about what happened where you were like, this is an opportunity to create a product that can make the hockey world better.
Yeah, so I grew up in a town in Connecticut called Greenwich, where there's a prep school called Brunswick, and unfortunately was the scene of a life-ending accident that happened at the Brunswick rink. I was a player from St. Luke's, which is one of the opposing prep schools from New Canaan. A kid named Teddy Balkind went down on the ice, skate blade went right across the neck. Brunswick has excellent response time and medics on site. And unfortunately, regardless, there was just no way to save him. He passed away shortly after. That was a shock to the community. So my son at that point was just entering, I think he was still in 8U travel. But all of us parents ran out to, Pure Hockey or whatever the local pro shops were and bought neck laceration protection as they define it. Which, as most parents on this will know, typically is a pretty thin piece of black lined fabric with some Kevlar in it, if it's the Bauer product. It's one of those things where Kevlar is a recognizable name, and I think it gives kind of the illusion of being highly safe because, hey, Kevlar must stop bullets. It stops armor-piercing rounds on tanks. There's thousands of types of Kevlar out there, right? There's Kevlar that will stop nothing. There's Kevlar that will stop an armor-piercing round. There's quite a variety and a spectrum there. And so that name doesn't really give any definition to what the efficacy of that product is, but it's a good name from a marketing perspective to put on there. I think that's kind of one of the illusions that's out there. I brought that product home. It felt superficial to me. I tend to go down rabbit holes of investigating and researching things, which is why I've been a serial entrepreneur, finding areas of improvement and opportunities to build better products in different areas and different industries. And I stumbled upon a Mayo Clinic study that was first done in 2015. It was later republished by the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine. And this report's pretty alarming. They tested 14 different neck guards. I believe it was 6 or 7 different brands. You had, Reebok, iTech, all the kind of brands of those days. You had Shock Doctor was part of that. There were a few other brands in there. Bauer, I believe, bought some of that iTech product line. And unfortunately, 11 out of the 14 models that they tested. Remember, this is 14 neck guards across 6 or 7 different brands. So some had 2 in there. They had 2 different products from each brand, and 11 of the 14 failed the lowest level of cut-resistant testing that they were doing. So when you think about the speed of the game with Learn to Play, you think about the speed of the game at, let's call it 12, 14 travel, and then you think about, elite level, one, speed of the game, but also the size of the players and the impact and the level of contact. And then you fast forward to today where players are skating with interchangeable blades. They're changing them sometimes every shift, but definitely every period at the pro level and even below. And the sharpening tools being used, whether it's parents using a Sparks in their garage or whether it's a professional level sharpener, the blades are sharper than they've ever been. So when you think about 2015 tests where they're simulating skate blade impact, that is pre all of that. And they were already failing 11 of the 14 neck guards, even at the lowest level of impact. So to me, I was like, man, what is up with this neck laceration thing? Like, this is a joke. This is it doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. The kids hate it. It's another thing to lose in the bag. There's a lot of confusion around it. Parents are just reacting to a mandate. They're not responding. They're not proacting and saying, hey, maybe these aren't all the same. What's better about this? What's better about that? No kid wanted to go to Pure Hockey and get a neck guard. They're like, I want to go see the new Twitch stick. Oh, it comes out in all these cool colors and it costs $10,000. Can I go buy it, Mom? How do we get kids thinking that way about neck guards? Like, could it be cool? Could it be something that even if there wasn't a mandate, they're like, I want to wear that because that's my favorite hockey base layer, or those are my favorite hockey base layers because they're buying more than one of them because it's fun, it's cool, and it makes them feel like better hockey players when they put it on. So I kind of had that vision when I saw the problem in the market, and I said, this could be done better. And I have a pretty low barrier to try things. I'll try anything, and I tend to be stubborn enough to stick with it to get it over the goal line. And about 4 months later, we had our first prototypes coming back from a factory in China, which was a fun time trying to communicate the needs of this product to that factory. We quickly moved back to the United States. We make all of our products in America, which is awesome. But I did stumble and fall a bit overseas trying to get our first proto done. But long-winded way of me saying, I built this product because I had to. As a hockey parent, I was just not satisfied with the clear evidence in front of me that the other neck guards on the market largely were not doing anything to stop escape blade. They still don't today. Those brands still make the same products, same level of cut resistance. It's published data. This isn't inferred data or made up data. NHL PA has a full report with all the cut resistant levels of every single brand out there. We submitted to that when we got approved for NHL through Rod Pasma. So all this data is public record. It's very easy to look at. And when you understand that A6 is where you start to get legitimate cut resistance, the bare minimum cut resistance needed to safely stop escape blade at a high speed game, let's call it teenager up until elite level hockey, then you start to say, oh man, the only brands that are above A6, there's like 2 on the market. Like, this is insane. Like, what is going on here? And how are these other products allowed to be considered neck laceration protection? So, are these mandates being put in place for a reason to actually prevent more accidents from happening? Or are they just a liability thing? I don't know. But we are very actively trying to get stronger guidelines and higher thresholds to qualify to be considered a neck laceration protector. Because, hey, if all the other brands make better neck guards because we're the loudest, brand in the marketplace, disrupting and trying to build better product, awesome. All the kids are then much safer on the ice. I don't think we're ever going to have 100% of hockey players wearing our gear. I would love that. But for many reasons, it's just not reality. We would love to see the other brands rise to the occasion. We've already seen CCM come out with an A6 product. It's $200 because making higher cut resistance costs a lot more. Our product is actually less than that, even though we are on the premium end of the spectrum for lots of reasons. So it's also nice to see that when the other brands are trying to meet our same level of efficacy, that there's costs associated with that. And I think it gives some validation also to kind of how we're trying to drive value and bring that value to our customers.
I mean, that just infuriates me that there were that many brands out there. Like, Toph, this is why I wanted to have him on the podcast, because I had no idea that there was cut resistance levels. When I had first spoken to Andries through Chris Weidman, one of my former NHL, KHL clients, we've had him on the podcast. I think we had Weids on twice or once.
I think just once.
Once. Yeah. KHL D-Man of the Year, local guy, worked with him at the end of his career. And he introduced me to Andries, and he told me about the A4, A3, A9. I'm like, whoa, these aren't all the same? Like, how? It just really pissed me off that people are, the more you dig in, like the U.S. food, it just makes me think of like the food industry in the U.S. and like the fake meats. And now it's like how people use language to trick consumers. And it's like, I'm buying this product to potentially save my child's life, and you're using verbiage and words that you're tricking people on purpose. And basically your neck guard is worthless. A freaking plastic fork could slice through that thing. All right. A skate blade, it's just going to be like, it's not even there. And like, now that I have a daughter, I think about it even more. I'm like, oh my God, dude, of course I want my child's neck and wrists protected. I mean, me personally, I had my wrist slit open when I was in Russia, and the EMTs at the game told me that my artery was slit. I called my ex-wife and I was like, I'm on my way to the hospital, emergency surgery in Russia. Like, I hope I survive this. Luckily, they were wrong. And when I got into the operating room in this hilarious Russian hospital with no lights on, and it looked like it was actually a prison, it was wild. I've told the story on the podcast before once. Luckily, like it was only like some minor things that were sliced, but I wasn't wearing wrist protection either. These shirts have built-in wrist and neck. My dad saved one of my teammates' lives on the ice when in a handshake line after a game, he tripped over his buddy. Somebody skated over his wrist, and there was blood everywhere. Luckily, my dad was reffing, and he went over, held the wound until EMTs got there, kept everybody calm. I think he even called the freaking ambulance because everybody was like white and scared. No wrist protection, and so like I asked Andries to come on the podcast because when I saw what they're doing, a way better product that actually is going to save people's lives and save kids. And then 2, the customizable stuff. I mean, for me, I liked my gear. I like to look good. It's part of my life being a male model. It just is what it is, guys. All right. So like for me, having the ability to like change how I look on the ice and have my own personal kind of style, and you can change the colors, and you can get, dude, it's really cool. You can get like if you see the USA ones, if you guys go on their website, like the USA ones look like a USA jersey. Like I would probably just wear that around town like I am right now, and probably wheel a lot of babes. But like, for me, the customizable aspect is a really fun and cool thing for the kids too, like Andries said. But obviously, first and foremost, the thing that really made me upset, and Toph and I have talked about the big manufacturers on the podcast before and how expensive things are, to hear that, they're barely even cut resistant and it's just fake.
Well, the fact that like a young company like Andries's has better quality and it's cheaper than the big brands is absolutely like if you know anything about business, that is insane. Like that's absolutely insane.
That should be backwards. It shouldn't be that way. If you're dealing in volume and you got all these suppliers and you got
US. We make it right here in St. Paul.
It's made in America. Yeah.
which is a huge constraint on scale. Like that's the thing. It's like costs are elevated, depending on what country you're buying offshore. Your tariffs can be prohibitive as well. So it's not like they don't have cost issues when you go offshore, but you just get infinite scale when you're producing in like Southeast Asia, for example. Like, hey, those first 1,000 were good. Can you make me 100,000? They're like, cool. You want it in 3 weeks? It's like, okay. Here we're like, hey, those first 1,000 were good. Can we have like 5,000 a month? They're like, we can scale there, 6 months from now. It's a step up plan. I'm like, can you just go hire more seamstresses? They're like, where are you hiring those seamstresses from? I'm like, oh yeah. Yes, that's a problem here.
Yeah. Well, Andries,
it's a challenge.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because like I'm thinking about just different questions that we would get about this, or I'm sure you're getting about this, and I'll go back to even like myself as a player. Hated neck guards. Absolutely hated neck guards. Never wanted to wear a mouth guard. Never wanted to wear a neck guard. I wanted as little equipment as humanly possible because that's how I thought I was going to be a better player and faster and more comfortable.
You definitely didn't wear a nose guard.
Definitely didn't wear a nose guard. Been broken a few times. But like really resisted those kinds of things. And I think back to like when I was really young and the neck guards were like, thick as like, a steak.
And the Velcro.
You have Velcro.
It's like a whiplash recovery neck guard. Yeah. Neck brace.
Yeah. Right. And I think about like, for me, and a lot of kids, as you're thinking about this, are like, I really don't care about safety. Like I care about performance. I care about comfortability and making sure that my mind is not thinking about anything other than kind of like, and I want to get into some of the stats, because like some of the stats we talked about pre-show here were pretty alarming as far as like how often this stuff potentially happens. I definitely want to get into that. But like, I know if I was a kid listening to this right now, I'd be like, I don't like, not for me, not for me. But like you guys have done an amazing job, I'm sure, in your R&D, and I see Vex wearing it right now. Like comfortability and performance is something that you guys have really thought about and put into your product. So for all the kids out here like me 15 years ago who was still playing, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, man, yeah, 15, geez Louise. Anyways, what would you say to them from a performance comfortability standpoint with your product?
Yeah, I mean, look, the number one complaint any wearer has of their neck guard is that it has Velcro. The Velcro is uncomfortable when you put your head back. It comes undone. Your hair gets stuck in it. So whether you've got flow or you're a female with female flow or whatever they call that, ponytails.
They just call that hair.
They call that hair. Yeah. So, nobody likes Velcro if you can avoid it. Right. And then obviously it fatigues as well in the wash. It catches on all your other clothes in the wash. Your mom hates it when she's doing laundry. It sucks. Right. So the first thing we want to do is okay, let's remove the number one pain point or annoyance factor that people reject of all the other products in the market. So we spent quite a bit of time developing a cut resistant material that hits A9 on the scale of A1 to A9 as we talk about kind of the cut resistant levels, but also has the ability to stretch over 100% elongation and recover back to original form near instantly, right? So you can get that turtleneck like slide over the head and then recover back to the neck. We make 11 different sizes of the shirt because that neck guard, because it's not adjustable, needs to be very dialed into the circumference of your neck. So the way you fit for our products, you fit your neck size first and foremost. The body size will, either be tighter or looser fitting depending on kind of your overall body shape and composition. But if you start with that collar size being perfect, the overall garment's going to fit you. It's a very malleable garment anyways, right? It's a high stretch, very high thermoregulating poly fabric that we use. The material on that shirt is like a buttery soft fabric. It's incredibly expensive. It's the same exact spec of product of material that's used in $350 cycling jerseys. So, cycling teams that are out in 95, 100-degree summer races, all over the world, wear that same fabric in most of the premium jerseys to be able to breathe in the hottest, harshest environments, which, a hockey arena, for those that don't play hockey wouldn't think this, but that's where you get the hottest within 1 second of your shift. So we wanted to make it almost invisible in terms of the ability to breathe. We want it to feel like butter. It needs to be able to be sublimated. There's a certain amount of polyester that needs to be in the product to do all the cool colors that Vex was talking about. And so a lot went into the material research, but really more even so went into that collar design to stretch and then also to have a contour. So it kind of arcs up. We call it arc guard as our patent that we have on that. It arcs up to cover the carotid artery and the jugular, which is a little bit deeper in. And then it swoops down under the chin so you don't get that bunching. If you look at CCM, Bauer, Shock Doctor, doesn't matter the product, which if you go to the store, you actually can't even tell the difference between those products other than the logos on the collar. But they all have the same exact even height all the way around the collar. So you get considerable coverage on the left side and the right side. However, you get bunching under the neck, bunching behind here, and then obviously the Velcro as well. So we solved all of that with this collar design. And then, the other pieces, there's just really nothing exciting about the other product lines out there. They're all black, right? So you don't get that team pride. You don't get your custom team colors. We do really incredible designs for organizations like Mid-Fairfield, for example, was a big adopter of our product on this last season. And so we did 3 different designs for them, including an alternate one that's kind of a Mid-Fairfield glowing neon one. It's really sick. So we have a lot of fun with that. My partners are all ex-Under Armour guys. My co-founder actually was the head of product there for 17 years. So these guys have incredible base layer design and form and ergonomics and material and even stitch and thread selections and construction knowledge that we started, day one. Well, they didn't come on day one, they came on shortly after, but we started pretty early on in our product development cycle with, decades and decades and decades of high performance base layer technology and knowledge base. And then we started to build in all of the cut resistant components, accordingly. So that's kind of where the new development had to come through.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was the same way as Toph. I freaking hated neck guards when I was a kid. The only time I ever had to wear one was when we go up to Canada when we were kids, because in Canada they made you wear them, but everybody literally rolled the neck guard down and taped them into like a little necklace. and they allowed it. And it was like, this is so stupid. This is for show. But now with everything that's happened, the last few years, and a couple of kids and pro guys, unfortunately, passing away or having those dangerous injuries, I think the whole thing is changing. And now it's actually about protection. And the fact that it like moves with you, and it doesn't, like, the Velcro for me was the worst part. It was always itchy. I had guy flow, if you will, a couple years there, and that would have, hair in there. And it was terrible. And, for me, like, I mean what I say what I mean. There's a reason we had Andries on here. I think this is going to be one of the biggest companies in hockey in literally the next 2 to 5 years. I didn't know that about the jersey material, but like wearing this thing, like I hate long sleeves when I was playing, but like the long sleeve stuff that you'd wear into your gear, it didn't evaporate the wetness and the sweat, and I would get so hot. Like this does, like, it feels like it's cooling me down right now. Like it's actually pretty wild. I
love the long sleeves. I always had to wear long.
You did. That's always interesting to me in the locker room, who would wear long sleeves, who would wear pants, who would wear shorts. I always went no tarp, but that was also so after the game I could pop that top and give an interview and do a little booby dance for the reporters. But it's just my life, part of it. But yeah, dude, you would love this thing, because like whatever this material is, like I'm sitting in my basement, it's not hot, but like I am. And so like it's cooling me down.
Yeah. We make a standalone version of the collar with the bib for guys that like to go commando or, wear cotton t-shirts. I mean, we've seen some interesting base layer selections in the hockey world.
Next, I wore the same shoulder pads from Phantom until the day I retired after 2 years playing pro.
That's unbelievable, bro.
Same shoulder pads. I legit, the only piece of equipment that I like new was gloves. I love new gloves. Everything else, like I did not.
I hated new gloves.
I know, I'm so weird like that, but like legitimately, I had to have like our equipment manager like sew up my shoulder pads in college a couple times. Like Shave tried to get me to wear bigger shoulder pads. I did for like 2 days.
You're like, no.
I can't do this. Like I can't. So that's pretty fun. No, but yeah, I mean, it's like the look in and of itself looks really cool. I mean, you can customize it and everything, which is sweet. Vex. Yeah. I took a couple screenshots already.
When Andries sent me this, the first day, it was like the first day of Christmas break when some of my junior and college guys were home. And so I just popped out of my office wearing this, and they're like, why you got a neck guard on? And then I started telling them like, hey, you guys are all wearing these next year. If you're going to wear one, at least wear one that's comfortable. And
but the cool part about it is like, kids want performance and they want looks, and parents want safety. And this has both. A lot of the other products on the market have one or the other, don't necessarily have both. And so the fact that this has both, I think is really awesome for the hockey community to get inundated with. And with that, Andries, like it kind of floored me, some of the things that you were talking about as far as like, we don't want to scare people on the podcast, but the lacerations, it happens. Like the skates are sharp, and if we can find a way to minimize the risk for our kids that are playing or even adults that are playing, like that's a huge win. And I know for myself, when I was a graduate assistant at Miami of Ohio, we had a player, Will Weber. He was a second round pick actually of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And he hit a kid along the boards, and the kid, as he was falling, his skate kind of went up and clipped him. And we didn't really know what was going on. I was up top and doing like the bird's eye view, and the play went the other way. He's a defenseman after he broke the puck out. And then all of a sudden there was this kind of like weird kind of like sound in the arena. And so I look back and I see this, just like, don't want to scare people, but like there was this huge pool of blood on the ice. And we were like, holy crap. And I went downstairs into the locker room, and thank God for our athletic trainer, Jason Eckerly, who basically took a bunch of towels and just shoved it right in his neck. And Webb's like legit was centimeters to inches away from getting his carotid artery cut. And thank God, like Jason was there and really good at his job. Thank God for the medical staff that got him in the ambulance and at the hospital and everything. But it was really, really scary. And Andries, you were sharing just some some data on the frequency of these types of injuries, maybe not neck, but, around the body. But I think it's important to kind of share that stuff and how important these products that you have here could be to potentially all the way from life-saving to just, minimizing risk of something happening. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, as I was going down that rabbit hole of investigating this entire industry and space, I came across some hospital visitation data related to hockey injuries. And it was over about a 8 or 9 year period. I think it was from 2005 to 2014, I believe. So it's also, stale by a decade. So you have to imagine, with the speed of the game and the sharpness of the blades, as we were talking about earlier, increasing, that data might be even more alarming today. But some of the key takeaways were 27% of all hospital visitation for hockey-related injuries were due to lacerations. And it was a pretty even split between like placement on the body, whether it was lower body, upper body. Obviously, you get a lot of arm counting as upper body. It didn't specifically break out neck versus wrist versus leg. So, you do get a lot of leg lacerations, which sometimes, hopefully a lot of them are non-fatal, as we know, given the frequency of them. You'd know about it in the news if they were fatal. These happen every day, non-fatal, and they can be career-ending depending on where they are. So even like it wasn't that bad can still be horrendous for that individual. Luckily, they still have their life. And I just think nobody really, I can wrap their head around the enormity of that until it hits close to home. I can tell you this, like, since I started this company almost 3 years ago at this point, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of texts and emails and Facebook messages from customers, players, just people in the community that have sent me pictures. I could build this massive database of this and show it to people if they would give me rights to show those pictures. I'm sure they actually probably would. It's freaky. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. I mean, at this point, I feel almost like I'm an ER doctor where I'm just numb to it. I see so much of it. And I think it's happened enough now that with the internet, people can share these stories a little bit, that I do think that parents are starting to understand that's something they need to take seriously. Like, if your kid is required to wear a piece of equipment, why not take that seriously, right? Like, I drive a car and I'm required to wear a seatbelt. I don't clip it behind my back because it doesn't mess up and wrinkle my shirt, or it's I think a little bit more comfortable, although I've worn a seatbelt my whole life, so I don't even notice it. That will happen with neck guards as well once you make them comfortable and part of the game. And now it's just generationally coming through the game from the start. So they're kind of, that will generationally fade out where you get this rejection to the product line. But if you're going to wear a seatbelt, at least make sure you're clipping it in and wearing it properly, so that when you unfortunately might have a car accident, that you're at least protected there, right? And I think understanding and approaching it the same way is the responsibility of the parent at this point. I think one other thing is interesting. I've been going to a lot of high school games since I've been out here on this trip in between World Junior games, and it's just interesting to see exactly what you were talking about, Vex, with the whether it's a Bauer neck guard or a Shock Doctor one, rolled down and then taped all the way across. And again, the officials are not policing it, if you will, or enforcing it. I saw a kid yesterday wearing an Under Armour base layer. You can see the Under Armour logo on it. They don't make cut resistant products. That was, quote unquote, being allowed on the ice as well. So there has to be follow through from the rules. The rules state it, but it needs to be enforced by the officials on the ice. And, do you really want to be an official out there that has a tragic incident happening and you had the ability to, require that the players are wearing proper protection out there? Forget the next evolution of that, which is actually getting all the products on the ice, actually stopping escape blade. Let's just at least get people wearing whatever product they're wearing correctly as a starting point, and then we'll try to bring the quality of products and the level of protection, alongside that. So a lot of work to be done there. We really hope that, the governing bodies take this to the next level, given the urgency to get some of these mandates out, which was seemingly reactionary to the Adam Johnson death. Now that's kind of, pretty far behind us, and they're continuing to roll it out further, like NHLPA with Rod Pasma and his team pushing hard to get that for the 26-27 season, and NCAA, hopefully will follow suit with that. We just did an exclusive deal with the PWHL, so they'll be announcing for next season, and we'll cross all those 8 teams, and we have the officials there. As Vex said, we're on most of Team USA right now. We're in the locker room there. We have a long-term partnership with USA Hockey as an official partner, and the only neck laceration provider that has that partnership with them. So we were voluntarily chosen by players in the locker room. So we basically did a product drop into the locker room, and first game, we had Hagen's wearing our gear. He's part of Team Titan. He's one of our athletes. So he's a huge proponent of it. Next game, we saw like 4 players wearing Titan. Next game, we saw 8 players, 11, 14. I mean, we're pretty much all the way there. We didn't do the huge IIHF sponsorship this year, so they are now covering our logo in the playoff round with the USA Hockey Shield. So you'll see our product on ice with the USA Hockey Shield over it. But it's easy to tell it's a Titan product that's out there. But it's awesome to see these guys that have no affiliation with us and have any other neck guard available to them in the locker room. Also, some of them done in the same royal color as an offering for them, and they're all choosing Titan. So seeing that product selection and preference, I don't think they're doing it just as a nod to their boy Hagens. I think they're really like, man, this is a product.
That's a great symbol right there for your product, is that this is the ultimate dream for these kids to play in World Juniors. They ain't putting anything on unless it's going to help them play
exactly
on the ice. If there was any inkling that something that they were going to wear was going to decrease their performance, there is negative chance that they are going to be putting it on. So the fact that
you got it.
Hagens, for those of you that don't know who are listening, he was, I think, 7th overall in the draft last year. Plays at BC. Will play with the Bruins either at the end of this year or next year for sure. One of the top young players in the world. And that's really cool that you guys have him. But then with other kids on the team being like, okay. And then you see them, it's just proof of concept for what you guys have.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, and he's that funny generation where he was required to wear it. Then he gets to NCAA, not required to wear it. World Junior, required to wear it. And then when he enters NHL, he's probably not going to get 10 games in this season, which would grandfather him. He will be required to wear it again. So he's in this weird, voluntary, involuntary kind of pivot there. But he is voluntarily wearing our product, not just because he knows he's going to have to wear it in the NHL level the rest of his career, but he really believes in the product. And mostly, before we did the deal with him, he was wearing it and testing it and playing with, doing skates at BC, and it was like, this is great. I'm in. He's not just doing it to be part of the movement here. He's really a believer in the product, which is great. But he's the last of the kind of Mohicans, if you will, where they have this weird career of required and not required. The next generation coming through, it's just going to be more streamlined and less friction in getting them to kind of look at this product category as something they need to evaluate. We're actually in discussion with quite a few of the guys for Olympics coming up, because those guys are going to have to wear neck protection at the Olympics, right? So what's Matthew Tkachuk going to wear this year? What's Brady going to wear? These guys need to be evaluating product now, knowing the lead up to that. And as you guys know, you're not going to wear anything that's going to slow you down 0.1%. So, we want to be in that mix. We want to be part of the evaluation set. And, we see that our product typically rises to the top when given a shot. So we're really excited for what's coming.
How cool is it that, 3 years is a long time. And as the guy behind the scenes doing everything, I'm sure it felt like 10 years, but 3 years in terms of getting the best players in the world in a sport to adopt your product, pretty much the first time they're wearing it. How cool is that for you to see that? That's World Juniors, best young players in the world, Olympics, best players in the world, period. And they're both wearing your product. How does that feel? That's got to be wild.
Yeah, we had a lot of parents on my son's team sending me pictures of their TV. Like, is that kid wearing Titan? Is that guy wearing Titan? Is that guy wearing Titan? I'm like, yes. They're like, wow. I think that was kind of when it hit me. I was like, man, like, you know, I'm a hockey parent. I'm not an ex-NHL player. I didn't have those connections, you know, natively. But we built a great product, and we were surrounded by great people. You know, you talked about Weidman earlier. You know, he's a strategic advisor for us. He's, you know, not only given us great connections to, you know, his network of players, both active and retired. So we've gotten on body for quite a few players at that level to give us some product feedback throughout our development cycle. And also, you know, as mentioned, getting in the rooms for some of these guys for the Olympics is huge. But also, you know, the hockey community is so tight that, you know, once you have a few folks like that on board, a lot of doors open up and opportunities to get the product in the right place, because you're in or out, and if you get one shot at this. So we've been very intentional about kind of our moves that we're making here, but we've partnered with what we think to be some of the best organizations in the world. You know, as I mentioned, USA Hockey, PWHL, and just the people at the organization that we've brought in have just been such a huge help to us. So, you know, we're super fortunate for it. You know, we're doing this, you know, first and foremost to make our kids on ice safe. My partner, Adam, who, as I mentioned, ran product at Under Armour, he's a level 4 coach, 12U, coaches his son. He's like, I wouldn't put my kid on anything else, whether I work at Titan or not. Knowing what I know now, I do not allow he actually had his kid show up without a Titan shirt one day, and one of his teammates was going to give him another brand's product. He didn't let his kid skate that day. That's how serious he takes it now that he knows what he knows, right? And look, parents have so much going on. They're not going to figure this out or care to investigate this. So we need to be, you know, very, very proactive at bringing, you know, the facts to the marketplace, letting them understand, distilling it down to easily digestible information. You know, we have this ad creative we're about to push out where it contextualizes the cut resistance scale, right? So the ANSI cut resistance scale, I was like, what are you speaking like Japanese to me? What is A1? What is A5? What is this? So what we've done is we've taken household items and we've put them on that scale to show. So for example, cotton t-shirts, A2. I shit you not, there are cut resistant neck guards on the market that are A2. Real data. Denim jeans are an A4. That's higher than the majority of all the mass market brands. In fact, all of them, other than the one new product that CCM makes, that's an A6. A6 is like leather gloves. Okay. That's kind of where you get to that minimum cut resistance that stops escape blade in that Mayo Clinic study. That's kind of the level of protection that you can kind of equate to it. We're at an A9, right? A9 is the highest on the scale. It's the same as like chainmail gloves, right? That you would see in an old medieval movie, right? Like that level of cut resistance is what's in our collar, which is, you know, maybe excessive. I don't know. I figured if you could hit A9, why not hit A9? Then nobody can say they're higher. And if you can do it with breathability, stretchability, performance, man, you've really, you know, kind of got something going on there. So that was what we strove for. I think we achieved it. I think we have a lot of room still to develop in that area. I mean, I'd love to make it lighter, even more breathable than it currently is. There's always room to continue to improve there. But it's been a fun journey so far, a quick yet long 3 years for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When you say that the chain glove, I was thinking of Monty Python, where the guy picks up the glove and then slaps the guy, and he's got
nearly a flesh wound, no arm.
That we are the knights that say me.
Jesus.
So stupid, man. Just very, very cool, and thank you for taking time. I know you're at World Juniors. Absolutely. And obviously you're there working, and you're there, you know, hanging out with everybody and working with Team USA and stuff like that. So, you know, we really appreciate you taking the time. But, you know, like I said, like, I think this is something that parents needed to hear. You know, when I first heard about a bunch of products on the market that kids are wearing are literally a cotton t-shirt, like, what the hell? Like, come on, that's, there's zero safety, zero efficacy, nothing like that. And that's just, I feel like I was fooled, I feel like kind of like an idiot, and so I appreciate what you're doing for the sport, for all the kids, for all the players coming up. Like I said, I personally got my wrist slit. I played with at least 10 guys. I have 3 clients in the last 3 years who have been slit by skates. One of them, one guy twice, 2 surgeries. One guy in the AHL got his hamstring slit. Now he's in the NHL. He's going to be on the podcast this weekend. And it was a big problem. Like, he had to miss half the season because of that.
Yep.
Whereas if you just have the right piece of
got
equipment,
lucky.
Yeah, A, you're safe, and B, you don't got to miss time. So I think this is a massive thing, massive win for the game of hockey, and we're super glad to have you on here. And also, guys, big news. First place we're going to drop it here. Titan's going to be the sponsor for our Friday face-offs moving forward. So, we believe in them so much. We did a little partnership here to have them sponsor the Friday face-offs. So you guys will get me having another ad read every Friday now too. So I'm going to have some fun creating that with Topher and Andries for you. So, man, thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Awesome. Yeah, we really appreciate it. I'll do one other plug for Hagen's charity that he's raising money for. His agent called me about an hour ago. He told me, go meet the parents of the players before the game, because I was trying to do that 2 nights ago. And when we lost 6-3 to Sweden, it's like, you don't want to go up to the player lounge right now. It's like, I don't want to go up to the player lounge right now. You're right. So I'm going to go see them in a few, but he's like, can you do me one favor? Just make sure you mention James's fundraising charity. So they're raising money for Feeding America. I'm going to put a link. We're loading it up on the website probably by tonight to go and donate through. So if anyone's listening, we'll keep it up for at least the next week or so. But he's raising money. I think every dollar gives 10 meals for a child in America who is, suffering from, hunger. So really good charity. Every time he scores a goal, he's donating. And then us and a couple other companies that he works with, Play It Again Sports and a few others, Bauer, are all contributing as well. So we'll put that link up on our site. If you guys get a chance, please click through and give what you can.
That's awesome. And I'm sure if you send that over to us, we can have our producers put that charity.
Okay. Yep. I'll send the link over for sure.
And we'll also put a discount code for any of you guys who want to check out the neck guards, the neck guard shirts, all of Titan BattleGear stuff. We'll put a discount code in the show notes. Make sure that's in there for you guys too.
Awesome.
Well, Andries, thank you so much, man. Such a great thing you're doing for the hockey community, and go enjoy the rest of World Juniors there, and enjoy beautiful Minnesota at this time of year. I hear it's really warm.
It's 7 degrees out. It's pretty nice. I'll be back in South Florida in a week. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Helping us get the word out there. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, brother.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.